All right, aloha. Day 18, feel flow. Here we go. Quick intro. Flow is just attenuating to the changing aspects of experience. So think of it in contrast to what we were exploring with feel rest was the lack of sensory input. Now we're going to change our focus to the changing elements of experience. So instead of kind of connecting with and making direct contact with that lack of sensory experience, we're going to be working with the changing nature of sensory experience. So we'll be emphasizing that through the practice, kind of attenuating to that aspect of experience. And now that is available in all three sense categories to see, hear, and feel. Obviously, if things in front of you are always changing. That you see, everything you're hearing is constantly changing. But for the feel flow technique, we're going to be dialing it down to just the one category of feel, which includes the emotional and the physical somatic aspects of our experience, and focus on the changing elements of experience. And for that, we will call it flow. And we can even use flow as a label if you like the use of labels. Um, so with that in mind, let's do a guided meditation and I'll try and direct you to a little bit of flow and we can start to make some contact with that and get some experience with that. All right. Welcome. Day 18. All right. Let's get started wherever you're at. I invite you to stretch up, settle into position, your upright posture if available. If not, you just do the best you can. Now, for this practice, if you're comfortable with it, we'll go ahead and close our eyes. And if not, you can always just do a soft, open-eyed gaze, maybe over the tip of your nose or just not focusing on anything in general. But if at all possible, close your eyes at this point. And just as before with feel rest, we're going to tune in to the feel aspect of experience. But this time, we're going to be focused on the changing quality of that experience. And when I say focused on it, I mean trying to soak into it directly, same as we did with feel rest, but in this case with the emphasis on the changing qualities of that experience. So you may notice right away that whether it's like kind of a whole body vibratory sense from a zoomed out perspective, or if you look into the body in any particular area or, joint or appendage, your arm, your leg, anywhere you look, there's some sense of movement to that experience, some sense of change, even if it's kind of coming and going or moving or tingly, sparkly, whatever shows up for you. And that's what we want to attenuate to. We want to feel that changing nature of that experience within the physical body. And you can also, if you notice emotion, you can explore the changing nature of how the emotions show up within their felt experience. So let's just do that. Let's tune in to wherever is available. Usually there's plenty of uh, experience available in this regard to explore. You can use the label flow to help as a scaffolding for your practice, supporting it, maintaining contact with whatever you've found. It doesn't have to be necessarily a good experience or a bad experience or a neutral experience. It can be any of those. It could be a pain in your shoulder or your back or some other challenging aspect. We're not really trying to cause suffering, but we're trying to deeply explore the changing nature of that experience. If you're having trouble noticing any flow, that's all right. It can be very subtle. It may take some time before you start to really observe or make contact with that changing nature of whatever experience that you've dialed into. But if you look closely to any of your felt experience, it's always changing. There's no permanence. Doing good. For those of you who have tapped into something and are really into this practice at this time, you can just pause the video and continue the practice for a while at your own pace. And for the purposes of keeping it in a short enough duration is palatable for everyone, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video now. Like I said, if you're enjoying the practice or getting something out of it, you feel free to pause and continue. And let's go ahead for the rest of us and end the practice right there. So you can kind of release from that tuning in to that experience of change. One of the benefits of this practice is it really goes from a mental exercise of knowing that this too shall pass with good and bad to the perceptual experience of things passing and coming and going, which is a little more deeply ingrained knowing of the changing nature of experience. So with that in mind, I hope that was a decent little introduction to Feel Flow. We're going to be doing that for another like 5 days, so I'll be dropping in a lot more information relative to Feel Flow and start hopefully filling in any blanks for you along the way. But as usual, feel free to like and add comments if you got questions or anything like that. It always helps with the algorithm. So I appreciate you. Great job. You showing up. Let's do it again tomorrow. All right. Take care. Aloha.